I'm looking at TQQQ, trying to have a better understanding of the overall market. So if you are tuning on in, I just want to make sure that you guys should be able to see me and should be able to comment in the live chat. So please let me know once we're all good to go, and then we'll leave it at that. Alrighty. So we've kind of been making lower highs and lower lows during the pre-market session. I think it's pretty easy to see that ever since we peaked at highs of 33.20, we've slowly been descending, especially into this pre-market session. There we go, retesting that moving average once again. Again, one of the biggest factors that I like to focus on is just making sure direction is in my favor. One of the sayings that I always have for our Learn Plan Profit group is the idea of, imagine yourself as a swimmer. You're a mile off of shore. You could have the current against you. You can have the current in, with you. Which way would it be easier for you to swim back, right? Obviously, with a current in going with you, right? If the current's against you, it's going to be much more challenging for yourself. It's still challenging regardless, swimming back a mile. And the same thing with the stock market. It's still challenging to take any trade, right? But if you have overall direction in your favor, it just makes it a little bit easier to understand when to take advantage of something. So we have Amazon going from highs of, I think at one point it was almost at 13% of a gain. It hit highs of 139, and as of right now, it's at 8.8. Obviously, still a very significant day for Amazon, but definitely looks like it's losing some of its momentum, and rightfully so. We have Apple going up from 3% in the green down to 2%, not too shabby. Yeah, so definitely something that we're going to be paying attention to. If we see that the market continues to sell off, then obviously that is either the idea of reducing our position for positions we're pretty heavily invested that are overbought, depending on your intention, right? So if you're a long-term investor, then it really doesn't matter how much the market moves today. Today we're focusing a little bit more on trading, so I hope that that's something that you understand in the sense that it doesn't matter about our long-term plays. We have those in place. This is just a different intention. If we see anything as like an intraday play, we're trying to get in and get out within a couple of minutes and or within a couple of hours, but definitely within the same day. And it doesn't matter if it's pre-market, normal market, aftermarket. It all counts as the same type of day trade. The biggest thing is I'm trying to figure out if we're going to be breaking below this moving average. And if so, there could be a lot of downside potential. And if that ends up happening, then, we can have a pretty decent setup maybe on SQQQ, right? SQQQ goes up when the overall market goes down. A lot of people like to ask, Ricky, why do you always at least look and pay attention to these two ETFs, right? Why would I have to focus on anything else, right? If I focus on market direction, and if one goes up when the other one goes down, then as long as I ensure that direction is in my favor, then I always have something to trade. There are many days that the market's very choppy. There are many days that market direction is unclear. And in those days, I just choose to either have a very small position size and or just stay cash. And we say this pretty often as well, where sometimes one of the best trades that you can take is not taking the trade at all, right? But that's when market direction is not clear. Meaning if we're trading sideways for about 2 to 3 hours, you probably don't want to risk it. So we have our first red candle on the 5-minute time frame below the moving average. One thing that you do not want to question is how bullish TQQQ can be, right? I mean, yesterday is a great example of that, and so is the day prior. If I'm not mistaken, it was actually Wednesday when we began to make this transition. We were selling off. We hit lows of 27 on TQQQ, and we made it all the way up to highs of 33, a pretty significant reversal, right? So now we have SQQQ beginning to show signs of a potential recovery. But do you guys see this? Yesterday we did this for a short period of time and then we sold right back off again. So again, this is why you have to be very, very careful with your position size. Why not leverage Dow or S&P 100%, right? I mean, I just choose to trade NASDAQ ETFs. Just because I choose to do something doesn't mean that you need to. If you prefer trading the S&P or you prefer trading the Dow Jones, there's ETFs for those as well, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's UDow and SDow for the Dow Jones. And then there's SPY and SPXS for S&P. I choose to trade at the Qs, right? Because it's preference. I like focusing on tech versus anything else. Alrighty. Let's see which way we go. Yep, and thank you again for the reminder. We have it's still not out yet. Came out 1 hour ago, the PCE report. All right. So thoughts on taking a long position on Google? I like the idea for sure. I think it makes sense. I think Google is has a very similar setup to, just like Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. Apple's a little bit different. Apple tends to recover sometimes way before the market. I don't know if you guys have stayed up to date with Apple and how it's been performing, but in comparison to any other tech stock, I mean, based off of previous highs, previous lows, and where it's at, it's doing a very good job already showing strong signs of a recovery versus anything else, even in comparison to Amazon. I mean, based off of previous highs, lows, and where it's at, Amazon is far from a full recovery. Definitely Tesla, right? Previous highs, lows, and where we're at right now. All right. Well, it looks like TQQQ, right? This is why we don't question, or we don't jump into a position right away. Here it goes. Strong recovery, TQQQ. $32.05, $32.10. I like that, Brandon. You have to let me know once you do get it. There you go. Still indicating signs of an uptrend. Even though we were making lower highs and lower lows, guess what? I mean, the buying pressure on TQQQ lately has been insane. This is why I was not sold on the idea that SQQQ had to recover. There he goes, big push. Huge push. There it goes. We went from a break even all the way up to 2% on the day in just a couple of seconds, or in just a couple of minutes, I think 5 minutes. And it's still going. Look at that. We're about to test that moving average. Buying pressure coming in hot. Just a friendly reminder, in about 4 minutes, we have the Chicago PMI report that's going to be coming out. So please be aware of that. Here it goes. Looking a little bit more on the overbought side. Let's see if we break above the moving average. This is out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere. There's a bunch of selling pressure. All of a sudden, buying pressure kicks in and continues to rally. 2.6, 2.7% on the day. Still more buying pressure. Nothing looks like it's going to be stopping TQQQ as of right now. Here it goes, about to hit 3% on the day. You guys see that? All right, showing slight signs of resistance. Oh, no, there it goes, 3%. There goes resistance at 32.60. Slight resistance. We'll see if we actually pull on back. Nope, still indicating signs of an uptrend. We're still holding above the moving average, which is a good sign for TQQQ. All right, obvious signs of resistance. Let's see that pullback. All right. So why don't you, I actually really like that question. So why don't you short instead of buying two different pro shares? The idea of shorting, again, there's borrow interest, right? So when you choose to short something, there's going to be those short interest fees. I just choose not to do that. So I'm going to buy 200 shares of SQQQ. So here it goes. I view TQQQ to be a little bit more overbought on the day. We had the overall descending direction during the pre-market session. We'll see if we actually continue, but no, it looks like TQQQ is still rallying right now. 200 shares. Again, one of the things that you guys need to understand is just because I choose to take a position doesn't mean that you need to. 200 shares is about $6,000, almost $7,000. I'll ease into my position from time to time if direction ends up being in my favor. The idea of going in with a fraction of what I intend to is because direction is still unclear. So how many times have you guys entered a position with 100% of your account and then things do not go according to plan, right? By going in with a smaller position size, I allow less emotions to be tied into my trade, especially when things are still uncertain. We're not necessarily selling off. We're not necessarily pulling back just yet. One of the main reasons that I decided to take that trade is because direction is in our favor, right? I'm sorry, no. The downside risk is in our favor. I apologize. Yeah, never 100%. Yeah, and we have a lot of traders that will never go in with 100% of their account size. That's also a big rule that a lot of traders have, where they'll go in with maybe 50% of what their entire account size is. They'll never put a full 100% into their position. You might be like, why would anyone ever do that? Due to uncertainty. You can never be too certain that a trade is going to go exactly according to plan. And there's those that think that they will be right every single time, and there's those that stay optimistic, right? You can choose to be whatever you want to be, whatever you think is better for your future self. Should never do 100%, yeah. So what's your profit target? I see at least 3% for upside on SQQQ, but I'm working towards 5% because of how much downside risk there is for TQQQ. If TQQQ does not take off today, I can see that today will be a red day where it will level out the gains that it made yesterday. Yesterday, it gapped up about 4%, right? And I mean, we're pretty close to where we were yesterday. We should be. And we gapped up 3% during normal trading hours. So it wouldn't surprise me that if it does have a red day, that it gives back pretty much everything that it gained yesterday, including extended hours. But again, if buying pressure is present, this is why I'm taking a light position in the beginning, because I'm still uncertain. It's still holding above the moving average. I think I saw someone, they're like, why don't you buy more? Why don't you just buy more of SQQQ right now? Why would I? Again, I think that's the mistake that a lot of beginner traders make is they get trigger happy with just buying because they can. You have to think. I mean, trading is trying to seek an opportunity. An opportunity is not always super clear, nor does it always present itself. So if you really choose to be selective, I feel the more selective that you are, the better off you can be in this market. So yeah, I did take a position right now on SQQQ with 200 shares, just like you guys saw, right? Any report coming out today? Yeah, I mean, it should have been out already. It just didn't influence the market very much. So the PMI report came out 52.1, and that came out about 4 minutes ago. It looks like we did pull back for a very short period of time, but buying pressure is still super high. And this is something I think that the market will make sense of maybe next week. But hype just needs to fade based off of, there's so much buying pressure. I feel like once we have one significant red day, the hype will no longer be there, and we'll probably just bleed right on back to previous support levels. I hope TQQQ doesn't go back to 25 or 24. That would be a pretty significant pullback. But with how much it's pushed up in the past couple of days, it's just really putting it in a tough position because there is no fundamental reason on why it should be going up, right? FOMC meeting with raising interest rates, nothing that was shared in that meeting was good news. Earnings, other than Amazon and Apple, everything else was pretty bad, yet the market still went up, right? And this all started on Wednesday. So it is what it is. Buying pressure is present. You can get upset about it, or you can kind of just go with the flow, right? That's one of the things that we talked about with our Learn Plan Profit group. When these earnings were happening, a lot of people were just confused on why is Google going up, why is Microsoft going up when they missed expectation. But it's just, one thing that we always say is that there's not one indicator that is 100% accurate, but there is also one factor that you never want to go against, and that's direction. When direction is super bullish and when you see momentum in its favor, that's when you really want to either stay cash if you wanted to go against it, and or Just go with the flow. No, I wouldn't say that. So, and this is also the other thing. I mean, you'll see a lot of people get upset at the market to be like, "Oh my God, this market's rigged," all this stuff, right? At the end of the day, I mean, the market moves based off of buying pressure and selling pressure. So yeah, I mean, you can say that it's rigged, but you also have the option of just going with the flow, right? So you can't say it's rigged if you have the option of doing what everyone else is doing. The idea is, I mean, we can say the same thing about the crypto market. Why is crypto going up? Nothing's changed with crypto. It's just sold off for such a long period of time that after a while, it reaches a support level where it becomes very difficult for it to break below. And when there's enough buying pressure at a support level, that's where they can build confidence to see this, push up. If I'm not mistaken, I think Bitcoin's gone up about 10% in the past, week? Something like that, maybe in the past day. I don't know what it is. I don't trade crypto, but it's any market. Any market sometimes, just like when they report earnings and or reports come out, it reacts in a funky way. And I get it. Sometimes it is difficult to make sense of. It is frustrating because maybe it just doesn't make sense. Trust me, like I'm right there with you. But again, you have to understand that also 2 days, 2 green days for the overall market does not define a market recovery. And I think that's the big misconception from a lot of traders nowadays and investors. We're so focused on this like instant gratification that we think that when the market gaps up a lot in 2 days, that they're like, oh, this is it. Market's going up. Market's been selling off for 7 months. So why does 2 days define a market recovery? You know what I mean? I mean, if you actually pay attention to it, for the GDP report that came out yesterday, which was also bad, 2 consecutive negative GDP reports. Technically, that is considered a recession. But then you hear President Biden speak about, no, that doesn't define a recession. But that was the definition of a recession before. 2 consecutive negative GDPs. Yet, again, market reacts in a bullish way shortly after that meeting. It doesn't make too much sense, but when it doesn't make sense and you choose to want to fight it, I would rather stay cash than to do anything at all. So here we go. We can see that we're beginning to trade sideways on TQQQ. So we're seeing signs of a pullback. Let's go ahead and wait for confirmation and see if we actually do it. So why don't you trade top gainers? I hate that idea of choosing to trade top gainers. I think it's a waste of time. I think the idea of something gapping up and thinking that it has to continue to run is very naive, right? Because you're also presented 5-10 different stocks that are top gainers. And yeah, you can try to depict which one is still bullish, which one still has momentum, which one still has that volatility. But I just think that, again, I like to keep my trading simple. Just because I choose to do something does not mean that you need to. But if I choose to trade something because it makes sense to me, then again, same thing for you. If you choose to trade top gainers because that makes the most sense for you, then great. But to also think that just because something has gained and or is a top gainer now doesn't mean that by the time that you get in that it's going to continue to gain, right? It doesn't matter how much a stock is up, right? Amazon is a great example of that right now. Amazon opened 12% in the green. It doesn't mean that it's going to continue to rally. If anything, it means that it has a lot of pullback potential. So think about it on both sides. Just because something has gapped up and is a top gainer right now doesn't mean that it's going to continue to rally. There's a lot of times that even the top losers, they sell off, they open up in the red, and then they create a lot of buying pressure and they show signs of a recovery. That almost makes more sense because there's at least recovery potential, upside margin, versus something that you hope and fingers crossed continues to rally. But again, I guess it's just dependent on how you identify opportunity. Still trading sideways, so I would not fight the direction as of right now. Still showing signs to be bullish for TQQQ. So we might just have to jump into this one. So why is the market even bullish after 2 negative GDP reports? Again, I think the market's just tired of how long it's been selling off for. It's been 7 months. It's been one of the longest sell-offs in the past 50 years. I think market's just fed up with that overall idea. There's enough buying pressure, and stocks are cheap enough that, could have been factored into the market already. It wasn't worse than expected, right? I think that's a big thing out of it. Priced in probably, yeah. Made money 5 days in a row. I like that. Well, congratulations. Market's been choppy, so you're probably pretty good at switching out of, some of your short positions versus some of your long positions. Ricky, is this pump because of peak inflation? So we haven't even proved that inflation has peaked, right? Because we still need that CPI data report for the month of July to be released in the month of August. Because in the month of June, we showed that inflation is at 9.1%. So inflation has not peaked according to the CPI reports that have been released. Stay in cash until direction is more clear. I like that. That says a lot. I don't know how. I wanted to ask you guys here in the live chat, how many of you guys are in a position right now? How many of you guys are cash right now? How many of you guys are aggressively invested? And how many of you are lightly invested? The reason I say this is I think it's more impressive when someone can restrain themselves and hold back from aggressively entering a position when direction is unclear. I think that says a lot about someone's discipline. Cash, lightly invested, cash, 90% cash. Okay, and again, there's nothing wrong with if you choose to be aggressive, right? And again, I mean this in a very respectful way. If you choose to be aggressive, you're just playing a higher risk, higher reward type of play. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can tolerate it. And that's what I want you to know, right? There's so many different ways on how to make money in this stock market. I will never say that, oh, my conservative style is the best option for you. Heck no. I know that some people just can deal better with tolerating risk. And I know other people need to be even more conservative than tolerating risk. With that being said, again, I just want you to know that you have options in the way that you choose to approach the market. I think that's what's most important, especially if you're an absolute beginner. So if you're tuning on into this live session, you're like, why isn't he trading a lot right now? Why isn't he just jumping into different trades? Why? Because again, I mean, this is the whole point of a live trading, not to show you what it's actually like, of what we're waiting for, of waiting for confirmation, trying to stay patient and disciplined, right? And if the opportunity does present itself, then stepping on the gas. But if it almost presents itself, then that's where we take a light position. This is, in my opinion, what trading is all about. There's days that are super bullish, and there's days that are super bearish. There's days that are super choppy. You need to understand what days to step on the gas, what days to hold off, and what days to stay cash and or short. I need you guys to understand that, right? Especially with these past 7 months, you should be encouraged to be selective. There it goes. Okay, so we have a big green candle over here. So not trading is also considered trading. Yeah, I mean, it's just waiting for an opportunity to present itself after a specific number of or a specific time. Then at that point, we can begin to set alerts, right? Cash is a position. Yep, I like that. So here it goes, still pushing up. And again, why do we have that buying pressure? So we actually should have had that consumer sentiment report released right now. Came out better than expected. So this is why we're seeing this buying pressure. So positive report. Let's see if this actually comes out in a positive way. So actually, Achilles would say that's why no one will remember your name. Well, also no one will remember your name if you go in super aggressive, you lose all your money, and then, you no longer want to trade. So you can choose which way no one will remember your name. No one will remember my name, but guess what? I still have money. So no one needs to know my name at that point, right? And again, I don't mean that in an offensive way. I was just trying to make a joke back. Yeah, I'm sorry if that came off in a bad way. We're trying to be rich, not famous. Yeah, I like that. Ricky, have you checked Roku? Yeah, we were watching Roku yesterday after market hours, after it reported earnings. So looks like it's somewhat recovered because it was down nearly 30%, right? You have Intel that is still down 10%. Yep. I appreciate that. All right. Smash that like button. I appreciate that, Jacob. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, how many likes do we have? 270 likes. Nice. How many people do we have in here? 2,000. Nice. Fair, fair. We got 10% likes. I'll keep the live going if you guys get me to 1,000 likes. How long do you guys want to go live for? Another 30 minutes? I just want something to happen. I want to be able to take more trades for you guys. All right. There it goes. We're at 500. See which way we're going. I just need something to happen. There it goes. I mean, buying pressure is still present. I just don't get it. I don't understand why. Where are we at? 33.20. $32.90. So, Ricky, is the HQ open only on weekdays? Yep, weekdays only. And you do have to message me before you head on over there via Discord. So, yeah. I don't think you'll be able to get in if you don't message me prior to showing up. Okay, well, so right now it looks like TQQQ is still the move. We're at 3.9%. So let's see that resistance at $33. If we break above $33 for TQQQ, I'll ease into it with a 250 share position, and then I'll average up into it. It's already up 4% on the day, so I can't imagine there being that much more margin with it, but it's worth a try. Today is the last day of the month plus Friday. Yep. It's a good chance for people to take their profits. Yeah, and I think that's what where most of the buying pressure is coming in. There's a lot of milestones for, different indexes. NASDAQ might be on track for one of the best months since the start of the year based off of its recovery. So that could be a good reason, right? Why we're seeing a lot of buying pressure, and then going into next week, selling pressure continues, right? And it's very unfortunate that, there's no real reason on why it's going up, but I've seen it many times where, if it's within the day or within the week and we're getting close to a milestone, buying pressure will spark because news outlets broadcast these milestones that really don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. They just create demand. I appreciate that, Christian. Thank you. All right, here we go. Getting rejected. Can someone make enough from dividends? The idea of dividends is to be able to make money off of, it's kind of like for people that are retiring, and or if you just have a ton of money where you can live off of dividends. Um, but I mean, you'd have to have quite a bit of money. At that point, you wouldn't be making it if you have that much money. Um, yeah, it's just the way that retirees, it was like an old way for people to be able to like make money over a period of time and not have to pull out their or realize their position. I'm not the biggest fan of just focusing solely on dividends, but hey, to each their own. Yeah, you would need quite a bit of money. Well, depends on, you know, what you consider living off of, right? But even then, even just like to make $5,000 in just dividends, and what, it being released every quarter. So what does that have to be? I mean, at that point we're talking about so $15,000 in every quarter of dividends. Yeah, you'd have to have quite a bit. So is there any chance that I can use WeBull when I'm living in Europe, or do you recommend other platforms? So to my understanding, I mean, it's still accessible when you go to other countries, but you need to be from the United States to use WeBull. So yeah, if you like the platform that I have, you guys definitely don't have to use it. It's just one of many different platforms, but it's the one that I use. I think it looks looks good. It's useful. They're constantly updating and trying to be better. I probably get an update once every 2 weeks. I feel like they're the most aggressive with how they are adding new features, all that stuff, and it's free. So even if you have another trading platform, you can fund this $1, and that's it. There's no fees to have it. If you guys refresh this video, I believe it's the 5th or 6th link in the description. You'll actually earn 6 free stocks. You deposit $1 if your account gets approved, and you'll earn 6 free stocks. And I can promise you it's more than $1. So, and even after that, you can sell those 6 stocks, make the money, and then close your account if you don't like it. So, yeah. What? How do these bots, don't you guys get frustrated from like these like spammy bots of, what does it say? Naked HD XYZ. Just imagine like that being your job. You just insert those bots, or maybe they're just bots, right? Maybe they're actual just software. I just don't get it, man. I have so many fake accounts on YouTube. I have to delete, like, I'm not joking, probably like 10 accounts every day that are commenting to people that comment on my channel. They're like, message me on WhatsApp. Like, you really think I use WhatsApp? Why would I use WhatsApp? And they're like, oh, we'll trade for you, is what people say. That, yeah, it's insane. Obviously, I think it must be working that people fall for it because, I mean, they continue to do it. I report those bots every time I see them. Yeah, so please be aware anytime that you get a WhatsApp post, or message me on WhatsApp, or if anyone messages you, I mean, just being completely honest, if you never intended to message me, I will never message you. I don't look at, respectfully, I don't look at people who follow me for no reason, right? Like, I never have a reason to reach out if you didn't spark the conversation. I'll respond to any message, I will, but I won't start it. I want you to know that. And I'm almost verified on every account, right? I'm verified on YouTube, I'm verified on Instagram. So if you ever receive a message and it's not from an account that's verified, that should be a pretty big red flag. If they're asking you for money, I can promise you it's not me. Did you sell any or all your rentals? No. I have my one property. I don't know if you've been following me for long enough. There's no way you guys have, but my first house I ever bought, I don't know if you guys remember, I bought it when I was in college, and I still own that property, and I just got it for such a cheap price that the market can dip 50% and I will still be up on my property value. I appreciate that. Thank you. The hack sinner. But yeah, I am selling one of my houses, but it was never a rental. It was just a property that, I don't know if you guys remember, it was like that bigger house where me and the entire team lived at. So, been following you since 2018. I appreciate that, Sergio. When did you buy your first house? 2015. December 22nd, I want to say. December 21st or December 22nd is when I closed on it. It was about like 10 or 11 days right before my 21st birthday. So, I mean, also understand market conditions were a lot different when I was buying a house. Market was, just so you know, I bought the house for $176,000. I bought it all by myself. But you have to think, $176,000, it's not anything crazy, especially in today's market. You probably can't buy much for 176. I really don't even know what you could buy. But yeah, I mean, I was working full time. I was saving all of my money. I was going to school full time, and I had my different side hustles, right? I was trading. I was buying and selling cars, and I would save and reinvest all of my money. So by the time I was like 20 years old, I had a decent amount of money saved. I bought my first house, and then I bought my GTR like 5 or 4 months later, something like that. But yeah, I got mine for 178K. What interest did you get, or did you do full cash purchase? No, I did not do a full cash purchase. I actually think I bought it FHA, and then I refinanced into a conventional. Yeah, but no, I put like 10% down, something like that. So my first house was at 19 and I bought it for 73K. Now it's 170. Yeah. Also know that I came from California. So when I came from California and I moved out here, and based off of what I was conditioned to, houses were really cheap here. So I was like, yeah, I'll buy one. I could buy one. It was more realistic for me to buy one here than it would have ever been in California. Did you graduate? I did not. No, I dropped out my senior year. I really enjoyed my time in college. I'm not going to be like other people and be like, no, you shouldn't do college. College is not good. No, I'm really big on learning. Some people learn really well in college. I feel like I did. Some people learn really well on YouTube. I really feel like I did. And some people really work well or learn well when doing, right? I don't think there's a right way to do something for the masses. I think that you should do whatever you think, you can do well in. As in, if you think that you can be better off by learning something online, then try it out. Sure, try it out, but actually try, right? Stay disciplined, stay consistent. But the same thing with school. If you're going to go to school, why go to school and complain about it? So there's people that would kill to be in your position, right? I can be ungrateful for everything in my life, or I can understand how fortunate I am, right? So when your team is buy and flip, so first off, I don't have a team. It's Nick and myself, right? We're really, this is our, we have guys, so we have Luis, I guess he is part of our team. We have Mark, we work with him, but we don't have employees. I don't have this like huge company for house flipping. I have Nick as my business partner, and then I fund everything. So we have people that follow us on social media. We connect with wholesalers, we connect with everyday people, and if they know someone that's interested in selling a house, they connect us with them. If we buy the house, we give them a percentage of our net profits, or we just pay them a finder's fee right up front of a couple $1,000s. It's pretty simple. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing like there's no special contract, nothing. You just paid people anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000. Depending on the deal, depending on the margins, and depending on what we are set to make. So how was the PCE? Good. So you guys can see here, PCE, everything came in as expected and or better except for the PMI. PMI and employment cost index, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Which makes sense. Dude, this market is so slow. I appreciate you guys even just staying here and hanging out with me. Show of hands. Yeah, not much to see so far. But this is what it's like. If you guys wanted a real session of what it's like to trade sometimes, do you think every morning I'm just like, ooh, yes, money. No. Imagine. It would be pretty dope, right? It would be pretty dope, but imagine, just every morning, oh yeah, here we go. Yes, oh, buying more. yeah, I mean, if you actually show up every single day, our Learn Plan Profit group knows it firsthand. If you actually show up every single day, you know what it's like. You know that most of the time, I'm sorry to burst your bubble if you're new to trading, but most of the time, it's kind of like this, especially this year, where the market's either selling off and you just don't want to trade, and or the market's trading sideways. So I want to be real with you guys. I want to be as real as I can with, like, I want you to think that it's every day it's like, oh yeah, we have a thing within our Learn Plan Profit group that we call party mode. So if things get a little bit more interesting, I don't do it very often, but we have a thing called party mode where I do this, and then I should be able to turn it on. Let's see if I can. So this is party mode. So depending on how the market is doing, this is what we call party mode. So I have like my lights, we play music sometimes within our live session. Maybe like once a week or once every other week, we do something like this just to kind of spark things up. Some of our members don't like music. They find it distracting. So I try to respect everyone's opinion from time to time. But yeah, that's party mode. But you have to be your own party sometimes when market conditions are like this. Dude, it's been what? Nearly 30 minutes and we've been trading sideways. This is way too bright. So play Despacito. Yeah, and then they're going to take down my video here on YouTube. Oh, you guys crack me up. Wait, we only have 888 likes and I just went full party mode. That at least earned an additional 120 likes. Is it not? Did it not? Ricky, she's running. She's not running where? She's still below previous highs. She's not running anywhere. I don't know what you're wait, what are you talking about? What's running? Oh, here it goes. Oh, we hit it. I think it updates for you guys before it updates for me because someone's like 1,000 likes. But it did not show that on my side. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I mean, that's nearly 50% of you. That's actually pretty impressive. I really do appreciate you guys. First off, going out of your way and just showing up to the live session. And then on top of that, you guys seem to be a fun group, right? Even when the market's low. I think that says a lot. You guys just enjoy it. Enjoy being here. You guys just enjoy being part of the community. And I like that, right? What do you guys have planned for this weekend? Anything interesting? Is it just me, or do you guys, it's different, right? But from when you first started trading, do you guys now kind of look forward to Mondays versus before? Because I feel like there's a big like a Monday, like looking forward to Monday, right? I feel like people with their normal jobs dread Mondays. They're like, oh my God, I have to go back to work. I want it to still be the weekend. But I don't know if you guys have experienced this, right? But anytime that there's a 3-day weekend, I'm kind of like, dude, I kind of just want to trade. Like, can it be Monday already? Or can it be Tuesday? Just so we can jump into it. So can you do a flash sale for LPP? Gonna do that? Let's see if I can pin your message. I agree also, Ricky, yep. I look forward to Mondays now. That's good. I mean, I think that's, I actually asked the question yesterday of like, what is your dream job on my Instagram? I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you don't have to, but it's the third link it should be the third link in the description of this video. If you don't see it, you can refresh it. But a question I asked is like, what is your dream job? And obviously we had a majority of people say traders, but we had a handful of people of like, sharing different things of what they like to do. And I was actually surprised. I mean, there's a handful of people that were choosing professions that were not the most rewarding in the monetary aspect, and I really like that. I like that because I think like your dream job should be something that you don't need a vacation from, and I think that's very admirable. Here it goes. We're about to make new highs on TQQQ. Looks like we're testing 32.95. So pro skater, diver, yeah. I mean, shouldn't that be the goal? Just kind of like how you guys said. Like, I look forward to working. I look forward to Mondays. I look forward to, the weekend being over so I can get back to work. I think that should be the approach. Not just because, oh, I'm a workaholic. I think there still needs to be a balance, right? Because also people that all they do is work, sometimes, at the end of the day, what are you working so hard for, right? If you're not enjoying life. So I think that there should be a balance, a healthy moderation of anything. But yeah, I mean, I think that should definitely be the goal of making sure that, maybe your profession could be investing, maybe it could be real estate, maybe it could be that hobby you've always wanted to start. But I definitely would say that it should have that edge of wanting to do it, not needing to do it. So as many of you guys begin to trade, this is why I always say, like, try not to put yourself in a position where you will discourage yourself, because I feel like some people jump into this way too aggressive. They take positions that they cannot tolerate, and then they end up discouraging themselves to ever want to do this again, right? Then you begin to dread it. Then it becomes something that you feel like you have to do. I feel like with anything, you should do it in moderation. You should understand that anything that is very accessible must come with great discipline. And that's the only way that you can do well with it. So, yeah. All right. Where are we at with time? Okay. I just looked at someone's comment. That is too good. No, that's actually not good, but people are just comedians. You going to try the Cutler pre-workout at the gym? Yeah. Well, I'm going to try it probably before I head on out. So, and I'm going to try the protein today. So I got the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I guess it's called cinnamon cereal. I just looked at it and I was like, oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But yeah, he sent me a care package and I was pretty happy about it. So I like it. Still bullish, 4.5% on the day. There's no indication of us breaking below the moving the EMA. And that's one of the biggest things. It's, I'm very happy that we took a small position on SQQQ. I saw an opportunity. I wasn't afraid to take it, but direction just isn't in our favor yet. I don't know if you guys saw, but I did set my alerts. I set my alerts for TQQQ, and now I'll set my alert for SQQQ. So, again, there's no reason to rush into anything. It's a Friday. Normally it tends to be a slower day, but it seems like it's already a better day than it was yesterday. We'll just see if we hold up here, right? Especially leading into the weekend. One of the things that I want to say before we close out the video is, again, how important it is to understand that this is the last trading day of the month. And we're on track for one of the best months of 2022. This could be where a lot of the buying pressure is coming from. So going into that, if you see that the market begins to sell off on Monday or Tuesday, then understand that, again, there's a big incentive to get the market at a higher level. And we'll see. We'll see if we actually hold at these levels and or if we actually end up beginning to correct ourselves. I just hope that, again, one thing, you will never hear me tell you what stocks to buy. You will never hear me telling you where to buy or where to sell. That's not my job here. I want to encourage you and I want to help you overcome obstacles that you encounter in the stock market. I want to work with you in becoming a problem solver. In a world full of problems, if you can become a problem solver, you're pretty set. And it doesn't matter what obstacle is thrown in front of you, you'll learn to overcome it. And it won't be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. But with that mindset, I feel like you can overcome anything, right? Just please, please, please take your position size into consideration. If the market goes up, take that into consideration. Do you have enough money in the market that you feel motivated? If the market goes down, are you going to be an emotional mess or super discouraged to want to trade? And at that point, you can decide, should I buy more? Should I sell? Should I reduce my position size? All of that stuff. Put things into perspective for you for both best case scenario and worst case scenario. Don't make an impulsive decision when the market is selling off. That's already too late. Too much emotion is in place then. But if you can, in advance, completely disconnect your emotions and plan out your trade for best and for worst, I think that, again, that's where the structure, that's where the preparation, and that's where the discipline comes in. I guess it really just comes down to how bad you want it. So risk management is decided by the trader and only the trader. And yeah, I think that's, you'll hear other channels that they always focus on, buying more and just trying to focus on making money. I think that's great. You're focused on making money. My job here is to remind you of most likely what you're not focused on. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I like reminding people of the areas of opportunity that I know that I originally struggled with. And I don't want you to make those same mistakes that I did. I want to save you money, right? You are of value to me by watching my videos. I want to be of value to you. I want you to understand how it works. It's you help me, I help you approach. And I hope that is made very clear. So I hope that it earned your thumbs up in this video. Friendly reminder, if you like what you saw today, I know that there wasn't any crazy trading, but it's something that we do every single day, right? We host these live sessions. Some days there's obviously a lot more trading if market conditions are in our favor. Some days are a little bit slower like this, but guess what? We show up every day, Monday through Friday. So if you want the ability to watch me trade live every single day, you guys hear me talk about them all the time. It's my Learn Plan Profit group. You do not have to join, but if you like my style and my approach to the market, it is literally the only group that I work with on a closer basis. And that's that second link down below. We're running one of our biggest discounts today. It is the biggest discount we offer. It's $150 off Learn Plan Profit 2.0, and it's all inclusive, right? So it's a one-time payment, lifetime access, A to Z course, daily live trading, daily group chat, and access to our TechBuds HQ. So like I said, biggest discount we offer. If you want to join, the discount code is going to be active for the next 48 hours. And again, it's that second link in the description. So can you do a giveaway? We are doing a giveaway, but it's not for them. So I'm not here to give away the course. I spend time with them every single day. I spend time with my team every single day. I value my time. If you don't value it, I respect your opinion, but I value my time. If you actually think about it, with $150 off, the course ends up being less than $350 for the entire thing, and you have access to it for a lifetime. We have members since 2018 that get access to all the updates. It ends up being less than $1 a day, even in a year. Do you get what I mean? So with that being said, it's, is it worth it to have me for $1 a day? If it's not worth it, I'm not here to convince you either. If it's not worth it for you, then don't sign up. But if you like what you see and you would like to be a part of it, then again, this is our biggest discount that we offer. I just like putting things into perspective. So I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. I'd love to host more of these. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, I hope that you have a productive and blessed weekend. So I appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year